To this, I am live, and I did not get a chance to announce it to people because YouTube is giving me issues today. So if you're already watching, be patient with me while I let my patrons know that this is happening. Goodness, always a thing. Oh, you know what? I don't have a way to share the link. Oh, yes, I do. Here we go. I'm going to copy that link, and then hopefully, where can I put it? You know, y'all, this is never easy. Start a poll. No, I don't want to. Is it still going? Okay, I think so. And to double check, what I will do is go on another device. Hello, whoever just showed up. Hey, if you want to say hi in the chat so I can call you by name, I would love that. Just getting everything set up here because it's one of those days when YouTube is giving me issues. Let's see, coming to my channel. I'll turn that down. Your channel. Okay. Yep, it looks like I'm still live. Hey, April. Hey, girl. How are you? Hi, Naisha. Yay. Okay, I'm so glad you guys know because I did not get a chance to send out the Patreon notice because YouTube just wanted to eat my brain today. And I don't have that. I don't have that. So let me send it out for those who don't know yet, and then we'll get started. We're doing a pick a card today, you guys. Yay, I'm so glad. Oh gosh, I'm so glad. This is lives are the most fun and the most nerve-wracking at the same time, I swear. I swear. All right, sending this out to the patrons. Cool. And if you guys already know some things that you want to work on with your blocks today, we're looking at creative blocks and spiritual blocks. We are going to start busting those for you. So as you may have already heard or seen in the Patreon posts, we're about to start doing some weekly art talks so that we can align with our creative selves, align with our spiritual selves. In my personal opinion, they are the same thing. They go hand in hand, whether you identify as an artist or not. Oh my God, wig issues. Anyway, so to start it today is our very, very first art talk. And to start it, what we're going to do is we are going to identify the block that is your most bothersome at this point in time so that we can know what you need to focus on as we do all of the art talks that come after this one. All right. So almost done with sending this out to everybody. Announcements weekly. There we go. Next. This is for members only. And oh no. Yes. All right, here we go. Comments on this post are allowed. All right, so hopefully all of our other patrons have received the notification that I just sent out. Hey, everybody, it is Shon. Welcome to shon.vibes. I haven't said that in forever. Ever since we moved to the East Coast, I have not been able to be that Shon because I'm not in my own space. Alyssa from Celtic Fairy Tarot and I were just talking about this the other day. It is so tricky when you're making major life transitions that you're not in control of. And though I was in control of deciding to move, Lord, I have not been in control of my life since I moved into my mama's house. And I know y'all know what that is like. So, or you remember it from when you were like 16. And here I am, not 16. I'm not saying that age out loud. All right, so let me say hello to everybody who is here. Inaisha, hello, my darling. I so love seeing your face. I got your messages this morning, by the way, and I'm glad that what we have talked about is aligning for you. Look into those channels. They will be so helpful for you and the things that you have been experiencing with these troublesome people in your life. Troublesome people. And Mel is here. Hello, Mel. Good morning. It's so good to see you. This is my friend Mel, everybody. And let's see. I said hello to Miss April, who I haven't seen in a few weeks, so I'm so glad that you are here. Those are my patrons, people. Thank you for showing up today for our live. It seems like Sunday is the best day for lives for you guys, like early morning Sundays. because I've done a couple in the evenings and it's like fewer people, but Sunday seems to be a good time. So let me know if you guys want to keep Sunday as the time. As you know, I'm rehearsing 2 shows right now, so I'm kind of in and out with my availability on Sundays. But if we can make Sundays work, I absolutely will. And then in mid-April, the second of my 2 shows ends, and so I'll be able to be more consistent on Sundays for you guys. Okay. The Grinch. Ooh, Grinch. Hello, Grinch. Welcome. Welcome to my life. Who are you? What are you? Where are you? Are you here, Grinch? I hope you're not in here. All right, let's see who else is around. We have Just a Girl. Hello, Just a Girl. You are not just a girl. You are the girl. And I welcome you to my live here today. I am so happy to see all of you. All right, so let's see. As I was saying, in case you're just joining us now, as I was saying, we are starting our art talks where we're talking about creative blocks. We're talking about creative alignment. We're talking about creative ideas, creative freedom, all the things that help you connect with your sense of your creative self, which I believe is also your sense of your spiritual self. And so today is our very first one of these. We are doing it as a pick a card. I wish I had my 2 cameras set up like I used to have in LA where I could show you guys. I actually can show you the cards just in a different way. So we're using 3 different decks today to determine which block you should be focusing on at this time. All right. If more than one of these, if more than one of these resonates for you, that is great. That means your mind is ready to tackle all the things, or at least a lot of the things, right? It's possible that there's only one block. It's possible that there are several blocks. It's possible there are blocks that don't come up today that will also come up later as we continue to have these conversations. So don't worry about getting it right. That's so much better framing. Oh, except there's my fat stomach. Okay, we're going to take that back up a little bit. Anyway, so I have 3 decks here for you. And of course, as always, the goddess Hecate, the goddess Athena, the goddess Lilith are here with us. They are always part of my tarot readings, as well as the Archangel Gabriel and the Archangel Hope. So whether you align with goddesses or angels, hello, Nick Mutant. What an interesting name. Did I fart today? That's your that's your question? Is that the question you want me to ask the tarot? I mean, if you're asking me personally, no, not yet, but I'm sure I will at some point because that's what humans do. Dogs do it, cats do it. Anyway, so we have 3 decks that we're going to be using for our readings today, people. The first is the Wiser Tarot. If you have been with my channel since the beginning, you used to see me use this deck a lot. And then goodness gracious. I just dropped all the things. Here we go. Because I got caught off guard by Nick Mutant, who just asked me, do you have only tarots? Honey, I don't know what that means. I'm starting to wonder, is English your first language? Because asking someone you just met whether or not they farted today is not normal. And now you're asking me if I have only tarots. I mean, I know it's tarot, but still, I'm just like, what's going on with you, Nick Mutant? All right, our second deck that we're using today is the Phantom Wise Tarot. And you see I had to check the name of it because sometimes I say Pennywise and I don't know why. I love this deck. I first got introduced to this deck by one of the other readers here on this platform. And I love it for shadow work. And since we're talking about discovering the artistic block for you at this time, or the spiritual block for you at this time, this deck is going to be amazing for that. And then the third deck that you have to choose from is the Past Life Energy Oracle. So these are your 3 options. All right. So I'll show them to you one more time without the commentary as I got distracted by Nick Mutant and his fart questions. I assume it's a him, but that could be a girl. It really could. The Wiser Tarot, that's pile 1. The Phantom Wise Tarot is pile 2. And finally, the Past Life Energy Oracle is pile 3. So take a few seconds to decide which pile you'd like to get your reading from. I will add timestamps to this after the fact. As a live, I can't do it in real time, clearly, for obvious reasons. But after the fact, once I get done with rehearsal this afternoon, I will be adding the timestamps here to make it easier for you to refer back to this later. Or if you're watching this in the replay, the timestamps will already be there for you, and you can just go directly to the pile of your choosing. So take a second, focus. I need to focus too. And let's decide which of these decks is best for you for finding out which block you're going to be working on at this time. If you don't want to choose by deck, you can, of course, just decide based on the number 1, 2, or 3. Do that. Okay, let's get started. Beginning with pile 1, that is again going to be our Wiser Tarot. Let's find out what is blocking your spirituality or your creativity at this time. You got Knight of Cups. What I'm feeling for you is you're someone who very easily has been able to take action in love. And sometimes you get caught up on worrying about, stressing about, distracted by when others whom you love aren't reciprocating, aren't also taking action, when they don't match your Knight of Cups energy. And so a desire for passion in your life, feeling in your life, something that feels good, makes you focus on that area. And sometimes other areas of your life fall by the wayside, right? You might be that person who, when you get connected in your high vibration, you attract several things to you at the same time. That's the case with most of us. So we'll be attracting new love at the same time as we're attracting new opportunities, even the same time as we're attracting new money, new friendships, all the things. But then when this part of the life starts going awry or doesn't feel like you would like it to or had hoped it would, the focus goes here. And the other things don't get the same attention as they were supposed to. So I feel like the fix for that in the long run is going to be really connecting your sense of passion and fulfillment to your creativity or to your spiritual life as well. Letting that come to you, that feeling of, again, love and abundance come to you through your creativity, through your spiritual life. Creativity in particular, have you ever considered making romance part of the art that you create? You know, if you're somebody who writing romance novels or romance short stories, if you're somebody who writes songs, you know, focusing less on political songs, if that's your thing, or even personal narrative songs, and doing some, you know, love songs and exercising that energy through your art, because this love energy for you is real. Passion for you is real. You might very much identify with the goddess Aphrodite or the goddess Ashun, you know, and it is very real for you, this energy. So it's not that you have to ignore it, but you cannot let it continue to distract you from creating the art you are on this earth to create. All right. We're going to move on to a pile 2 now. So again, for you guys, we are using the Phantom Wise Tarot. That is what it's called, right? Yeah, I don't know why I always block on that one. Actually, you know what? Before I do that, I wanted to honor y'all's time, but let me just make sure we don't have any other. Okay, we don't have any other comments right now. All right, so pile 2, you guys are getting your concept of block from the Phantom Wise Tarot. Just a girl, can we be friends? Of course we can be friends, honey. Absolutely, you and I can be friends. I'm sorry that I missed that note of yours because I was distracted by heart questions. But yes, please stick around. If you're not already subscribed to the channel, please subscribe. If you have interest in Patreon, that's where I do the majority of my things every week. Please come join me on the Patreon because I absolutely consider everybody on my Patreon my friend. Right, Mel? Yes, Mel. I'm calling you out, Mel. All right, so here we go. Phantom Wise Tarot. For you guys, the block is, ooh, so you got the High Priestess. And for you, I'm getting that the block is not trusting your intuition enough when making your choices around creativity, even possibly when making your choices around spirituality. I'm going to start with the second one first and then come back to the creativity, okay? So starting with the concept of not trusting your intuition when it comes to your spirituality, that is not uncommon because most of us, particularly if you're in America, particularly if you're in America, particularly if you're in the southern states in America. No, honey, you are never living that down. Never, never, never. But anyway, if you live in America, if you live in the southern states of America, which we call the Bible Belt, your teachings around spirituality started off as actually being teachings around religion. And unfortunately, in my personal opinion, most who identify heavily as Christian, most heavily Christian environments, are focused on religiosity more so than they are focusing on spirituality. These two things are separate concepts. And when the focus is religion, there tends to be a dictation to you, or a dictate to you, sorry, a dictate to you of what that religion should look like, what that practice, if they even use the word practice, should look like, how you need to see it, how you need to approach it, what you need to do with it. And so when that happens, we get indoctrinated with that, absolutely. And that becomes a very hard thing for us to divorce ourselves from or separate ourselves from as we grow older, even as we learn new ways of looking at spirituality. And the reason why that is because A, number one, we get those messages in our formative years, and B, number two, those messages are coded with this concept of God as being all knowing, all seeing, all powerful, unforgiving, but wait, yes, he is forgiving through Jesus. Oh, wait, no, he's judging you, he's seeing you, he knows what you're doing. Da-da-da. He's like strict Santa Claus or something like that. I don't know. I don't want to get too offensive because my mom is one of my Patreons and she is definitely Christian. And I think some of my spiritual beliefs might make her a little bit uncomfortable. And I do live in her house. So I don't want to go on too much about that right now. I do want to say, though, it is not uncommon to not be able to trust your own instincts, your own intuition when it comes to your spirituality because of how you were initially taught, how you were initially taught to look at spirituality through the eyes of religion, and the lack of personal power that is a big part of those teachings. There doesn't seem to be room for receiving the messages and the guidances through spirit, or through your spirit yourself, and trusting that those are your leanings, your teachings, your guidance, your direction, regardless of what's happening for the person beside you on either side or the person in front of you at the pulpit. Their calling is not your calling, you know? Their direction is not your direction. And so trusting your intuition and your intuition in particular, because we have high priestess here, trusting that more as you let your spiritual practice develop and evolve is very much called for you. Now, similarly, that same set of things can happen in our art, in our creativity. When you first start learning your art form, you have a teacher, and the teacher imparts on you their thinkings, their beliefs, their hangups about creativity and art. Most of us have teachers in art spaces that are frustrated artists. They did not either have the courage, the resources, or the talent to be the talent, to do the thing, to go all the way, or to even give it a try. They also probably had, because we all do, financial requirements. And those financial requirements dictated for them, or maybe even pressures from their families dictated for them, hey, you need to go get a job. And so instead of going to work for like JP Morgan Chase or something like that, they were like, well, I can teach my art form. And so what they are saying to you as you are discovering yourself as an artist is based on their stuff. Now, sometimes you're lucky and your teacher is also someone who is a professional practitioner of that art form. So like my students, they're very, very lucky. I said it out loud. I got 30 years of professional experience as a performing artist. I also have 30 years of professional experience as an arts teacher, a performing arts teacher. So what they get from me is someone who can speak to them in ways that they can learn and is also drawing from practical real life experience in the field. But for most of us, when we are first studying art, because our parents might find that first art teacher because they met them at the grocery store, or they know them from church, or they saw like a little Dolly Dinkle studio or something like that in a shopping center. And there's been no vetting of that person. And even if the parent did vet, would they even know what to vet for? Because the parent themselves is not an artist. Or, for some of us, our first teacher is our parent. And talk about hangups that come with that. If your parent was also an artist or a creative. So either way, we are getting these messages from someone who they got their own stuff. And they may or may not be able to see us clearly as the artists we are and what our potential is. And so you learn how to follow their dictates, their rules that are also laced with their hangups or even their beliefs or hopes or dreams, whatever. And there needs to come a time where you graduate beyond that and start trusting your intuition as an artist. This is how new art forms get created. If you're a dancer, you know about Fosse style dance. That was created out of the fact that Bob Fosse could not do what traditional dance was. He learned it, he could pick it up, but his body just wasn't built that way. So he created a different dance style that fit with his body. And now it is a known and taught dance style. And y'all have seen it. You recognize it from movies like Chicago, which was first the Broadway play Chicago, which Bob Fosse choreographed. You also see it in oh gosh, All That Jazz. That's another major musical, that features his choreography. Google him. You will be surprised at Damn Yankees, if I'm not mistaken, a ton of them. Okay. So learn how, so your block is not trusting your intuition enough when it comes to your art or your spirituality, and quite possibly both. All right, for our final pile, and I know Miss April, you have been patiently waiting for this because I see that you put in the chat 3. And actually, before I do that, let me just double check to make sure I don't have any more comments that I need to make sure I don't ignore. As long as I know I was seasoned, it's all good. Girl, we good. We good. But I just, I hate that. I'm sorry, this is for Mel. I hate the idea of having hurt anybody's feelings. And so that's why I keep bringing it up. But no, I'm not mad at you. You know I'm not mad at you. Look at that smile. All right, so we are going on to pile 3 now. For those of you who have been waiting for that, and I feel like that's probably most of you, because of the lack. Oh, yeah. Nick Mutin, you are definitely a man. Honey, my boyfriend is right in the next room. You lucky he's not on this stream. He usually is. Nick Mutin. Get yourself under control, boy. All right, getting back to where we were. This is pile 3, and I feel like this one is where most of you guys have been waiting because of the lack of commentary in the chats. So let's find out what block. What is the current? Oh, wow, thank you. Current creative block. You guys got 2. Interesting. Y'all have multiple piles in this deck, okay? So the first card that came through is Archangel Raphael. He is the healer angel, okay? And the second card that came up at the same time is education. So yeah, what you've been taught already around, and I hope this doesn't make you feel shortchanged because I've already covered a lot about this in the other piles, but it's what you've been taught already that feels like a block to you, or is blocking you, or feeling as though you're not educated enough in that art form. Are you really hard on yourself? Do you tend to be like, I'm not good enough? Do you have imposter syndrome around it? Are you that person that is constantly and always trying to make it better? You don't let go of a project, or you don't let go of something that you're doing. You don't release it. You don't let people see it. You don't share it because you just don't feel like it's legit or good enough, because you don't feel like you have been properly trained enough. You need to do healing around that. That's what I think this is. I forgot that with YouTube, it's backwards. That's what I think this is for you guys. So some of those other things that I said might resonate for you for sure. But definitely this feeling as though you are not educated enough is a block. Now, I want to tell you, I'm getting that there might actually be a little bit of legitimacy in that. And not that you haven't had enough training, but that you need to make space for yourself to allow yourself to get more training if that's something you really want. Stop making excuses. I know that sounds like a harsh word. Like, I don't have the time. Find the time, make the time, do a self-directed learning thing. There are people who teach art forms and all kinds of things on YouTube, and you can do them at your leisure. Or I don't have the money. That's a real thing. I'm not going to ever tell you that fearing not having enough money is in your head or make believe. No, that's a real thing. However, I have the fix for you for that. There's this beautiful, oh God, this girl is so beautiful. She's got a beautiful spirit, beautiful face, great sense of humor. She's got this podcast called the Divine Money Podcast. You should totally check that out. That is going to help you with any blocks you have around money. It's going to help you draw in more money. What is that girl's name? I can't remember. I cannot remember what that child's name is, but she's gorgeous. The Divine Money Podcast. If you happen to know the name of the person who does that podcast, can you put it in the chat for me, please? And if you know why I'm asking you to put it in the chat instead of saying it myself. But anyway, yes, absolutely. Making the space, the time, giving yourself permission. If you're somebody who was told that you weren't good enough, if you were someone who was told that you don't have the talent, if you were someone that was told, oh, that art form is not important, or it's ending, or art is not important, whatever the thing is, and so you haven't let yourself get the training, get the learning, fuck all of that. All right. That is not true, nor is it your reality. You are talking to someone who has been doing this since the age of 20 professionally. I mean, technically, since I was 9, if I count the stuff I used to do with my dad, but that was radio, so I don't know if that counts as art. But in terms of art form, since the age of 20. So now y'all know, because I said age of 20 and I said 30 years. So yes, this girl is 50. I almost said 40. Can I be 40? I'd like to be 40. Anyway, which is funny because when I was 40, I wanted to be 26. Anyway, so yes, I can tell you for a fact, art is real, art is necessary. Can you imagine people getting through the pandemic without it? Without having stuff to watch on Netflix and Disney Plus and all the things? So whatever your art form is, whether it's performing arts like mine, it could be visual arts, it can be 3D arts like what my guy does, any kind of art form. The fact that you want to do it is enough for it to be important. That's enough for it to be important. Taylor, April, who the hell is Taylor? No, her name ain't Taylor. Who is Taylor? So Anisha, you say here, that's how I'm feeling. Hold on, I got a couple because I feel like I missed some. Hold on, let me go back. I did. Mel says, oh, I was truly teasing, I promise. I'm glad, sweetheart, because when I saw that it hurt me that I might have hurt your feelings. Lyric, April, you say, listen, I just cried before this live about the things I've been educated on that are not authentic to me and did soul work. That's the thing. Do you know how often it is, April, that you'll show up to my lives and you will say that you literally just had a conversation with yourself about the thing that comes up in this live, in that live, whatever live it is you've joined? So like, I won't see you for weeks because you're busy and stuff. And then you'll show up like right on time. And I really do believe, and I have always believed this about you, that we are connected. We are aligned. I feel like there is a lot about you that I have experienced, or a lot about me that you have experienced, that somehow like the right messages come at the right time for you. So I am glad that you made it today, for sure, because I know that feeling. I know that feeling of having had bad teachers. The majority of my teachers were bad, and they told me I was all kinds of untalented. And I've been doing this now professionally for 30 years, 30 years. And I make my living at it. And as it says in my tagline here on the channel, I make 100% of my income through my artistic talents and my spiritual work. And if I can do it with the bad teachers I had, y'all could do it too. And if you need a good teacher with the right attitude, let that be me. Join my Patreon if you're not already a member. Many of these people that I'm calling out by name, they're already members, which is why I know them by name. If you're not already a member, join the Patreon. If you're a member, but you're at one of the lower tiers and you can swing it, come up to one of the higher tiers, because you get more benefits with each tier, right? The first one is podcast only. The second one gives you some tarot readings, these lives, as well as the podcast. The third one gives you personal readings once a month that are included in the Patreon. You get a personal reading from me once a month, included in the Patreon, along with the lives, along with the podcast. And then there are the random readings that I do occasionally late at night, because for whatever reason, that's when I get the hit. All right, so I'm glad you found this today, Miss April. And then Inesha, you say, yeah, that's how I'm feeling. Yes, it's that education piece, girl. And I feel like that's probably really true for you too, Inesha, because I never hear you talk about yourself as an artist. I never hear you talk about your artistry or your creativity. I do feel that you identify easily as a spiritual worker or energy worker, however you define tarot. But your creative self is so real to me, and it's so strong. Like, I feel it every time I interact with you. And yet I cannot identify what your art form would be. I feel like it might be visual, but I've never heard you speak on it. So I'd like you to let yourself feel comfortable enough to start identifying as artists more. All right. So that emanates through you more, shines in your aura more. Taylor, girl, Lyric, I'm gonna get you. It's not Taylor. It's me. It's me. I was calling myself beautiful inside and out. The Divine Money Podcast by Sean Wilson, available only on Patreon. I do some clips here on YouTube, but the full episodes are only available on my Patreon. Inisha says, "You're 40, baby." Yes, I'm 26. I don't want to be 40. 40 years old. We're gonna go with 26. My voice is too deep for 26, and I know too much shit, you know. But if I was like, sometimes I think that like, if you could just feel your way through life, everything is gonna work out. Maybe I could pull off 26, but nah. Let's see what else we have here. Lyric says, exactly. Soon as I finished crying, I got the YouTube notification. I feel the same. Definitely a connection. Yes, 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 for sure. All right, you guys. So this is what I have for you today. Those are the blocks I want you to start going ahead and thinking about, thinking through, but don't overthink it. Because when you focus on something, you magnify it in your life. That's law of attraction shit. And you know, we don't want to magnify the thing we want to get rid of. So now that we have identified this particular block for you, there may be more that come up later as we continue to do the work. But now that we've identified it, let's start focusing on the fix, the solution, the opposite. Oftentimes the fix and solution is just the opposite. And that way we can start magnifying that, drawing that into the life. And that is going to be the focus of our next art talk next week. Heads up, excuse me, it will probably be Saturday night instead of Sunday morning, because we are going into tech week next week. And so that tends to be the heaviest, the busiest week for me. All right. I was able to squeeze y'all in right now, but as you can hear, as I'm wrapping it up real fast, it's time for me to head to the theater. Oh wait, it's two Sean's. Yeah, that girl loves herself maybe a little bit too much. Anyway, yes, 107. So I need to leave so that I can get there on time for rehearsal. But I wanted to make sure I gave you guys your weekly live this week, because we did miss it last week and the week before, I think. These are the blocks. We are going to work through busting these blocks for you, whether they are spiritual or creative. And the reason why I'm saying both is because some of y'all identify as spiritual workers or energy workers. Others of you identify as creatives, but I guarantee you, if you are one, you are also the other. They go hand in hand. You just may not have identified that other piece of yourself yet. Okay. All right, you guys, thank you so much for being here. I love the interaction. I absolutely love y'all being here. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. She desperate. She desperate. Anyway, oh, also, we just hit 500 subscribers on YouTube, which is not a huge number, but it is, it gets me closer to being eligible for YouTube's like perks, like the super thanks and all the monetization stuff that they have. So, and it took me 2 years to get to 500, y'all. I don't know why it took me so long, but I'm there and you guys helped me get there. So thank you so much. Whenever I put any content here on this platform or even on the Patreon, if you're a member of Patreon, please share it with people who you know could benefit from what we are doing together. And I do see it as something that we do together. If you are an artist, if you are a spiritual worker, you have other friends that are artists and spiritual workers, and they need this shit too. I am not here on this earth to hear myself speak, though I do love the sound of my own voice. I am here on this earth to, I believe, help. Well, I mean, I do feel like there's a big part of benefiting myself, yes, but also to add to your life with what my experiences have been so far. And I hope you will feel generous enough to share that with other people who could also benefit from knowing all of us together and being a part of our community. All right, I have been saying goodbye for like 10 minutes, which means I'm definitely gonna be late for the theater. So I will see. Oh wait, there's a couple more. Hold on. What do you say here? Same connection. Yes, yes, yes. Thank you. You're very welcome, Enasia, darling. Lyric says, April says, facts. Yes, facts, girl. Hashtag facts. Woohoo, 500. Yes, Enasia. Congratulations. Thank you, Mel. It is huge. Thank you. It's like, I don't know why it's harder to get to 500 on YouTube, probably because they connected to their partner program than it is on other platforms. But yes, it took me forever to get to 500. So thank you. It is huge. And I need to pat myself on the back for that. Yes, you are an artist, Nation. You need to start saying that more often. All right, guys. Love you much. Bye. Oh God, how do I turn this off? Why do I never know? It's the X. It's always the X.